Today we're reviewing
Pups Save a Woodland Walrus. Yummy, yummy apples, Jake's favorite snack.
actually one of my very favorite Everest moments. It's so her to just be singing to herself about Jake in a tree. I wish she got to show more personality in the rest of the segment before just disappearing wordlessly at the end.
Whoa, check me out. I'm a Labrador with Labrador.
It's nice when a pup takes something potentially upsetting in their stride. And this is cute, too. Sky's just barely avoiding the nugget stamp here. But it's awfully close.
Sorry, pups. I was in a barrage.
A decent enough wipeout. Marshall not expecting to slide on the brushes makes a lot more sense than most of his recent trips. And the pun was fine. Not exemplary or inventive or anything, but fine.
Wow, you two sure picked a lot of berries.
Yay, Marshall's here. And to make it read while he's small on the screen, he's given a very exaggerated sniffing animation. Pretty cute.
Wally, my big-toothed bestie.
I don't exactly find these two to be characters I'm super eager to see on screen very much, but hey, some affection between characters with an established bond is still nice to see.
Oui, merci beaucoup for saving us, PAW Patrol.
Rubble gets some pets, which, as I always say, is something nice to see, and we don't get enough of in recent seasons.
There you go, Wally.
Might I say, Sky, you're looking excellent here, in a burnt nugget-free zone. Very nice. Please do keep it up. In real life, he'd have ruined it, but hey, we can have a bit more whimsy here at the happy ending. That's okay.
I bid you a fond and fishy farewell, Wally.
Until now, this is something that had shown great improvement in Season 13, but sadly that positive trend stopped here. We're back to lengthy, human-centric opening scenes without a cute pup in sight.
A succulent and savory squid snack.
I kinda wondered if they'd phased out Captain Turbott's squid jerky, since they've introduced, a squid with human-like intelligence. Guess they just slaughter them in this universe while they make cute little squeaky noises begging for their lives. Not that it's different from the pigs and cows on the farm or anything. Now there's some actually dark lore MatPat could have used.
Nice, Rocky.
In spite of this, Rocky doesn't get any lines. Including him like this might be their way of trying to cover up this weird need to not have all the kids give voice lines each segment we seem to have this season. But it only draws attention to it more when Rocky stands there in silence.
PAW Patrol, ready for action, riders, sir.
Nothing else for Chase to say or do but this and the other highly recyclable staple line, "Look out." He and Rocky are today's designated non-characters. The whole Wally plot is just stuff happening without any reason. It barely makes sense he follows the moose, and of course it's only feasible he keeps up by constantly cutting away and then having him warp right back behind them. Then this just happens, and you could have had it happen right away instead of after multiple scenes. Everest could just see him stuck instead of having to see him pass, and any number of things could have made her fall. There just isn't any clever hook here, or any reason I can imagine a writer's room saying this was a solid idea to base a segment around. Very hard to care about any of this. In a moment like this, you should really have Marshall say he's sorry. It's been a little jarring lately going back to old episodes and seeing how ready they are to show good manners, and how that all gets skipped lately. Also, this is a very cursory Pups at Play scene with a pretty random activity in a very human-centric episode. So much time is given to this awkward animal exposition, too. Enough time that much longer scenes with the pups could easily have been fit into the segment if the fat got trimmed down. Instead, it seems like they were padding it, which is crazy when Rocky and Chase don't get to do a thing, and Everest is totally interchangeable with any other character after her first line. It's not this segment's fault, but given that 2 episodes ago Julius fell about 10 times this far directly onto his crotch and was fine, it's hard to feel Everest's in any actual danger here. And could you not just let Marshall get her down with a ladder instead of catching her mid-fall? I'm sure you feel like you're ramping up the tension and excitement by having it go this way, but when every little thing has an extra crisis shoved in, it all starts to seem phony and meaningless. And of course, when you don't have a story, just default to stuff rolling downhill.
Worry not, Wally. We'll whip up something wonderful for you at the campsite. Just you wait.
Kind of felt like the alliteration fizzled out there. A bit too long a gap before the W of wait.
Rubble, we need you fast!
Rubble on the double!
The pups quite often teleport in after getting called as backup, but this was absurd. As has become quite common, the physics make a bit of a nonsense of the script idea here. They had to have him go backwards, but that can only happen out of the path of the boulder, but now he's out of the path and slowed way down, and only going at running pace anyway, so he'd obviously be way better off just bailing at this point and falling over. So equally, Everest could have saved him by just knocking him down with something. But it's just the brainless action sequence almost every segment seems to have forced in these days. Honestly, it's a way worse fixture than Marshall's unfunny wipeouts. You'll notice Captain Turbot is missing from the top of the boulder too. Guess he started to levitate.
Look, Wally's striped, like a big jungle cat.
Marshall's very cute here, and I like this twilight lighting, but the line is a very awkward one. I really feel like he'd just say tiger, not a big jungle cat.
Yeah, what if a troop of tigers traipses by?
So Marshall's line was awkward to avoid repetition when Captain Turbot mentions tigers, but it's very inelegantly done. Pups Save Woodland Walrus was just kinda an empty husk of an episode segment. Nothing felt connected or coherent, so stuff just happened. The Turbots were picking berries, Wally was following some moose while happening to look like them, the pups were painting a bench, and Everest was also there, being in some vague distress to kickstart the action. There were some cute moments, but this hung together even more loosely than Stein's other scripts, and there were no good ideas here. So much more time could have been given to the pups. Everest didn't even get to say goodbye. At least she was in the much, much better B segment of this episode. Overall, 4 out of 10. Points mostly for visuals, cuteness, and the adorable Everest singing. But a poor segment that just had no good ideas going for it. Alright, and if you felt some deja vu while watching this, there were a few clips I took from the preview video I made for this episode. They were salient points, but I'd already made them, so I might as well just reuse that footage. This was a pretty negative review, but that scene with Everest was so cute I didn't feel like I wanted to put it any lower than 4. Why not click here or here for another review of one of the episodes written by Robin J. Stein? Definitely not one of my favorite PAW Patrol writers, though there are some gems in her oeuvre. And I want to beseech you to come back tomorrow because the B segment of this episode was so much better. Hopefully I'll see you there, but that's all for today, so I'll see you guys again next time.